Hi, everybody. I have probably in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've come to a really cool conclusion. And, I've been doing this 32 years, and my wife says, "When are you going to retire?" I'm like, "The day after the funeral." And I'm really loving this interesting time. And I love disruption and change. I think we hear it all the time. Oh, I love change. And, you know, they're the very people that fight change. The reason I love change so much is I'm a creature of habit, but I like disruption for the fact that I like innovation. I like to do new things. And sometimes I do that too much and it can be, counterproductive to my company. I think we're circling back to some basics. And I want to teach you three different types of coaching. There is spot coaching, observational coaching. Number two, there's something called situational coaching, where a situation is brought to you as a leader. And then something that we call continuous coaching, which is what we prescribe to, or I should say that we teach. The other two forms of coaching are not bad forms of coaching, but I want to dissect them and get you to digest this. When we spot something, so we do a lot of work with credit unions and different types of companies, and what we tend to do is we go up to someone and say, "You're doing this wrong, and we want to, you have to do it this way." And then later we call it coaching. Now, that was feedback in the moment, or that's spot or observational coaching. The reason I call it or put it under the category of spot or observational coaching is typically what happens. We spot something, we want to go and correct and fix it. That's typically what triggers our eye, right? Now, the funny thing is, the Gallup organization reports people engage 8 times more when we lead with the good stuff. Yet we are typically triggered by what we see as wrong, and I got to go fix that. It's one less thing I've got to deal with today. And then situational coaching is when a situation is brought to you. And I think one of the most infamous examples is when, let's say, a sales rep goes up to a manager and says, "I got a customer on the phone. They want a price discount. What do you think I should do?" And the manager gives advice or feedback or mentors or asks questions. And then in that moment, they go, "I coached that person. Now they know how to handle that situation." No, they don't. You handled it in the moment. Is it a lack of confidence? They don't know your products. They don't know how much margin they have to work with. Do they know how to figure out margin? There's always something there. Now, continuous coaching is when you focus on one or two areas, typically in 8 to 12 week increments. So think about youth sports for a second. Would you honestly go up to your son or daughter's coach and say, "My kid just plays games. He or she doesn't practice"? You would never do it, right? Because your kid would be on the outside looking in. I challenge you to think about it that way. Because here's the funny thing: human beings do not arbitrarily change in the moment and have that become sustainable for a lengthy period of time because we gave feedback or interacted or spotted something. It just doesn't happen. So I'll even prove my point more. When you think about the workplace and you think about sales and objections and angry customers, customer service, handling angry customers, people who are upset about the warranty, you think about topics such as conversations of conflict. Think about someone who golfs. Have one session with them, go to your boss and say, "They're cured. They're performing flawlessly. I just met with them." I bet you're laughing. And what happens is we lull ourselves, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody. You lull yourself into this false state of mentally, "Oh, okay, I met with Sarah. Okay, good, good, good. She knows what to do now." And I've now talked myself into the fact that I just helped this employee, Sarah, really perform better because I met with her once. People do not perform that well. Number one, there are 3 tiers of learning when we facilitate any type of change: knowledge, skill, and behavior. Knowledge, it's been proven. After training, 80 to 85% of it dissipates within 14 days if it's not reinforced. Number two, skill. If people are not practicing, they're not getting better. Their skills don't arbitrarily go up because you told them to. And if you think that works, we wouldn't have a training or a coaching industry. Confidence. Confidence comes, the behavioral component, from practice, repetitive practice, and positive reinforcement. So let's take 10 people on your team. How many of the people on your team can flawlessly, with empathy and thoughtfulness, have really tough, difficult conversations and they don't shy away from it? Very few people have more than 2 or 3, if that. So what it teaches us is everybody, especially with AI, that those conversations, especially with AI, they're going to start to become front and center. They're going to start to become more and more prevalent. What are your thoughts? Thanks.